How do you deal with a girl you are dating whose parents tell her to either choose them or me?
Oh, that's real bad.
Well, I have never had this problem. Every girl I've ever dated, their parents always loved me. And you got to be, it's a good thing to have her parents on your side. But in that case, that sucks. And maybe he did something to deserve it. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he and her parent, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but what you tell your girl is that, hey, I love you, but it's like if you're gonna choose your family, your parents, hey, whatever. And if they're like saying we're gonna not talk to you, if you're gonna keep dating me, it's like, I mean, I'm happy to get together and we can go to dinner and talk it out, and they can tell me their concerns. I'm happy to listen. That's how a man would handle it, but I don't know what led up to that point. Why
Yeah, why would you
they
make
don't
Yeah,
like
there's a lot
him.
of
I
scenarios
wish
there.
there
He,
was more context.
yeah, he could have been cheating on her or done all kinds of things, or maybe he was a deadbeat dad, or
There's also the scenario
he
where
kept dumping her and then getting back together when he didn't find anybody else, and then
there,
dumping her again, and
there's
then
also the scenario where maybe the parents are just very overprotective of their kid and they're like,
maybe.
no. So,
But at the end of the day, attraction and interest. She's totally head over heels in love with you. She will say bye bye to her mommy and daddy, and be with you. That's why the emotions are so powerful. That's why you see these women, these attorneys that are very successful, represent these guys in prison, mass murderers, rapists, you name it, and they fall in love with these dudes and help break them out of prison. And they think they're going to go live in the Lamb in South America or whatever, and live like Bonnie and Clyde or whatever it happens to be. And they throw away their lives and their whole careers. And sometimes they're in relationships. Like there was the one in I think it was New York about 6 8 years ago, where she helped. She was having, I think she was having sex with these two different dudes. Maybe it was three guys, and she worked at the prison, and she was married to a guy, and so she was having an affair, and then I think she left um, with one of the guys, and I think a couple of them, they got away. They were murderers, and they ended up getting killed. But the husband finds out that she was cheating on with these three convicts, and basically helped break them out of prison. I think she didn't go. She was supposed to wait by the manhole cover where they came out, and she kind of dipped. She didn't stay, and but the damage had been done. She was on video, letting him out of prison, where she threw her whole life away, and her husband's like, "I'm standing by my wife." And it's like she was banging three dudes. I think it was three different guys in prison that she broke out, and I don't think these guys harmed anybody or anything when they got out, thankfully. But I think a couple of them died in a firefight with some of the SWAT teams. Um, but it was a very famous, like I said, it was like 6 8 years ago, and then she got prosecuted for obviously doing that. But she worked in the prison, and she threw her marriage and probably, I imagine, her pension away, her career away, and now she's in jail. And last I heard, the husband was standing by her, and all because the emotions override the logic. And so it's that's
But
an extreme
she might
case,
still have her
but
pension.
if she's crazy about this guy and wants to have his babies and loves him and trusts him and he's the man, she's going with him.
I agree.
And she'll say bye bye to her parents, and tell her parents what she thinks about them not supporting her relationship. If there's nothing wrong with the guy, maybe they're overprotective. Like in my family, I talked about this in Mastering Yourself. My dad, when he was engaged to my mom, obviously she said yes. They were getting married. Her father drove over to my dad's house and begged my dad not to marry my mom. He said, "I'll pay you to go away," because he just wanted all the daughters, three daughters, to be like old maids, to stay at home and never go and get married. And but at the end of the day, she loved my dad, so they got married.
I feel like it's a tough situation when it comes to family, you know? Because at the end of the day, if they don't work out, all she has is family. And to let them go, it's like the best case scenario, like you said, is sit down at a table as adults, mature adults, and talk it through is the best. But for her to leave them for him,
Yeah, it's a huge risk.
It's tough.
Yeah. Well, like, my dad was like, I don't care what you think. I'm going to marry her. We're getting married. It's like, we're adults. We're going to do what we want. And they went and got married and lived, mostly happy, somewhat happily ever after until my mother, became ill. And she was never the same person again after that. But the thing was, is I guess my dad's mother, my other grandmother, she was home. Probably had the windows open. I think she heard the whole thing. And she was, you can imagine if the father of your fiance comes over to your house, your castle, and one of your baby boys, you're listening to the father of this woman basically communicate, I think so lowly of you, and, your unworthiness to marry my daughter, that here's some cash and, get out of our lives forever. And she didn't like that, and that created a lot of problems. And because she never liked my mother, it's like she never forgave my mother for what her dad, in essence, did. So it created a lot of friction. So there, those things are going to happen. Those are the consequences when you've got parents that don't like the guy for whatever reason. In their case, they just didn't want any of their daughters to get married. They wanted them to just stay home and be old maids and take care of them. Because he had another family that he had abandoned. It had, I don't know, 5 or 6 kids or something like that. And never told anybody. And we didn't find this out till after my mother had died. It was like one of the aunts told us. I was like, I had no idea. It was crazy. So then it kind of made sense. Maybe he felt guilty because he abandoned his first family. Never spoke to him again. Left and just dipped.
That's crazy.
Would you guys like go through with a wedding if your parents denied,
Yep.
his hand?
Yeah.
You would?
I mean, my dad is definitely super traditional. Like I think he would want like the man I would spend the rest of my life with to have the decency and the respect to ask permission.
But what if he denied? Would you still go through with it? Like if your husband,
Yeah.
fiance asked your dad and he's like, no, would you still go through
I
with
think it would be more so like me that would say no than my parents.
That's a
Like
good
my,
question, though.
like
In the
no.
worst case scenario, if he said no.
I don't think my dad would say no. I think he would.
If he said no, would you
If
get
he said
married or
no.
would you not? Jeez.
If he said no.
She's a black sheep of the
I don't
family.
know,
She's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants.
Probably not. I mean, like, I don't think I would marry somebody that my dad doesn't like. That's not really in the cards for me.
It's not in the cards for the Salty Bay
Same.
yoga girl.
Yeah, because I would want like my family. Like I'm pretty sure they would go, but I wouldn't want to have a whole wedding ceremony and have people
we're
just not have the heart. Like
Not actually feeling it during the party.
yeah, like
Like
I know
not
they're
in the
against
celebratory mood.
this. Yeah, like they're just like I know in their hearts they're just like not happy with what's going on right now.
Yeah, I would not want to have like a whole celebration of love, but I don't even want like a giant whatever. I think that if it's not being celebrated the right way with the people who
You have a personal, you two and
if
somebody
it's
else,
not
like close
super
people.
intimate, like with the people who love you the most and only really want
Support you.
the best, there's no point. And like if you can't do that and have your family there, then why would you?
Yeah, I would probably wait until like they fix whatever they got going on, and then I'll say yeah.
Yeah.